Let's hope this works. All right, cool. All right, so when looking at this model, you want to pay attention to this aorta here. Remember that if we're traveling down the thoracic cage, the aorta is called thoracic aorta, technically descending thoracic aorta. And then we still continue on to our descending abdominal aorta because now we are in the abdominal compartment. And so if we pay attention closely here, some of the arteries and veins on your list are, first you have your superior mesenteric artery, and then your inferior mesenteric artery right here. You want to be very careful with this one because this one will look like the inferior mesenteric, but this is the gonadal. You'll see that each one goes to the gonads, and so that's not on your list. And as we look around here, you can see that we have our two kidneys located here in the retroperitoneal space, meaning just in the back of that space. And so if we follow the artery that goes and leads into that kidney, it's referred to as a renal artery. And then the renal vein brings blood back in this direction. And down here, this is our inferior vena cava. Our heart would be sitting up here. And that's really it. And this little structure here, these three little vessels that arise from this area, is your gastric, your hepatic, and then your splenic arteries. And they're going to serve exactly what that sounds like. And so we follow down the abdominal aorta. And by the way, the celiac trunk, I don't believe any of these are on your list. It's just, I thought it was worth mentioning. And so with that in mind, if we go down to the very bottom, blood will go through, down, down, down. And then you'll see that we start to split apart, that we start to bifurcate, meaning that we start branching. And you'll notice that we split into one to serve this leg, this one to serve the left leg. And then after that, we have two more sets of branching. But before we do that, we have to give this a name. This is called the common iliac artery because common usually implies that something's going to split into two. So this large one, again, common iliac, and then it's going to split into one that's going to go in this direction towards the posterior direction and one that's going to go anterior. And so the one that's going posterior is called the internal iliac. The one that's going forward here is going to be your external iliac artery. And with that, if we went back up to the top, this superior vena cava, we follow this now, our vein. The cool thing is that the naming system is exactly the same. So here, the one in blue, this is going to be also your common iliac vein, and it's also going to split to become an internal iliac vein and an external iliac vein. And that's it for this compartment.